It's Friday in Los Angeles, and we are live for the 2019 Overwatch League season. This is week 2 of Stage 2, and we've got some of the best Overwatch players in the world throwing it down on the stage today. The hometown Los Angeles Valiant haven't felt very much at home so far this season. They're one of the only winless teams. In fact, they are the only winless team left in the league. The Valiant hope to change that today against one of our 8 expansion teams. The Atlanta Reign sat in 5th place after Stage 1, but they've stumbled so far in Stage 2 with 2 losses. We'll find out in 30 minutes whether Atlanta can back on the right track against LA. Welcome into the Blizzard Arena. This is the Watchpoint pre-show. I'm your host, Chris Puckett, alongside. We've got Sully, Brent, and Sideshow. Once again, the show brought to you by State Farm. But guys, it's Friday night. You getting fired up?
Super fired up.
I'm ready. Woo! This crowd is ready.
Puckett. I'm heated. We've got some fantastic games ahead of us today. I'm looking forward to it.
Some close ones. I don't know which way we're going to go.
Got a pretty good show for you guys. We're going to dive into all of the predictions in just a minute, but let's start here with Shanghai. Shanghai Flex Tank Geguri is going to hang out a little bit later with Danny Lim to talk about the struggles of being the only female player in the league, as well as fighting for those wins as a member of the Dragons. Plus, the Boston Uprising have pulled off 3 straight regular season reverse sweep victories. Can they do it again? And the Watchpoint police are on the stage to issue citations to some of the naughtiest Overwatch League violators. That's right, there's one of them. When the pros take the big stage, the Valiant will battle the Atlanta Reign. You'll also see Boston face Guangzhou and the Red Hot Chengdu Hunters against Shanghai. We've also got one of the league's hottest teams facing a not-so-hot squad. The Guangzhou Charge are on a tough run. They haven't won a map yet this stage, and they'll face a San Francisco Shock team that has won all 8 maps that they've played. We give a lot of love to Super and Sinatra for being the leaders of one of the best teams in the league, but Sully, what's one of the unsung heroes on this Shock lineup?
I mean, I do think we did mention him every once in a while, but I want everyone's eyes to be on their flex support player, Violet.
I like that.
He actually made quite a splash when he joined the league. He's definitely making a strong argument for himself as one of the rookies of the year. And frankly, yeah, he had a bit of a rocky start. I would say he did get picked off a lot. In fact, he had a 3.97 deaths in 10 minutes in his first 3 games. But ever since then, he really picked up his slack. And look at those statistics. Look at those ranks. 3 first-place ranks and 1 second. I think that is pretty darn impressive considering what kind of high-caliber senatas we actually have in this league.
For sure.
I think looking at the bigger picture with the San Francisco Shock in particular, I right now place them as the 2nd best team in the league. I think there's a couple of bits of evidence that we can point to regarding this. The first being, stylistically, they are a very aggressive team. And the only team that really matches them in that regard is the Vancouver Titans, who currently have not lost in the season. So they are coming up close ahead to them. And again, you look at the Stage 1 finals, went to a best of 7, went the distance with these 2 teams facing off against each other. I feel like New York Excelsior, who you could also make an argument that they might be the 2nd best.
Statistically,
right now,
they are.
Statistically, they are. You know, in the standings, they're high up there, but they have not been putting up the numbers realistically. The individual performances, looking back at the stage playoffs again, when they lost to Seoul Dynasty, they've slipped up a couple of times where Shock just seemed to be getting hotter and hotter and hotter.
So you got the Shock as high at number 2, but the Charge, well, this team that has been slipping down the standings. In fact, they've lost 15 straight maps now, Sideshow. But this team, to me, doesn't look absolutely terrible. So can they hang with the Shock this time around? They've had a week to go back and watch the VODs.
Well, I totally agree with you that they don't look like a terrible team. And I think this is one of the side effects of what Brent's talking about, where you have those top 3 teams who are just unbeatable at the moment. And any mid-table team that comes up against them, I mean, look at this. The San Francisco Shock demolished both of those teams, Valiant and Charge 4-0. The Titans crushed Spark and Dynasty. Both of those teams, I think, are actually pretty decent. And then Dragons and Justice just got demolished as well. So any team here that otherwise would look fairly good, if you come up against the Shock, the Titans, or the NYXL, you're gonna get crushed right now. So if you're a Charge fan, or if you're trying to assess where you think the Charge are, it's going to be very difficult because, yes, they've lost a ton of games, a ton of maps. They really are struggling. But they face very difficult opponents, and I think that makes it very hard to tell exactly where they're going to shuffle down. They got very unlucky with their strength of schedule, but I think they're still a mid-table team.
There's light at the end of the tunnel after this match as well. Keep that in the back of your mind. Another team that has no problems racking up map wins this stage is the Chengdu Hunters. The Hunters have 5 wins on the season and will take on a Shanghai Dragons team that has 3 wins of all time. This is the Dragons' only match here this week, Zoe. So does this give the Dragons an advantage coming into the match?
You know, if it were any other team that will face off against but the Hunters, I would say yeah, because they have a lot of time to prepare for one specific team. But they're going up against the Hunters, and I think we said it time and time again, that preparing for them is kind of a mission impossible because you never know what you're gonna get when you play against the Hunters. If we're looking at their overall hero pick rate, we do see that they kind of stray away from what is the league normality. And
Reinhardt's at 35%.
I know, and this is just so odd to prepare against. I think Hex, when he was on the desk, once said, like, you know, if you want to prepare against them, just you know, load up mystery heroes and see what you're gonna get, and maybe you'll be comfortable against the Chengdu Hunters. If we look at the maps right now, the only map both of those teams have been playing so far in this stage was King's Row. Everything else is going to be, at least in this stage, new territory for both of them. So it's also, that makes it even harder to prepare because you can't really look at previous strategies they were running. I mean, we saw them running crazy things with that Symmetra, like, comp they ran where Paris ran into a wall. They did not know what to do about it. So I think the best bet Shanghai has here is trying to eliminate Elsa.
There you go.
Whatever hero Elsa is going to be playing, be that Zombra, be that his Symmetra. That's complicated with a female name, isn't it? What's going on?
Someone's getting married.
Somebody's getting married. Shout out to that guy. Love it. Love it. Get them games in.
That's wonderful.
I love this match, though.
Yeah! There he is!
Yes! What were you saying, Josh?
Okay.
This is the best bachelor party ever. Keep going.
I love this match because it's the battle of the teams that are trying to either save or tank the reputation of China within the Overwatch League. Last season, the Shanghai Dragons had a terrible run, obviously, and they were the only team that ran a majority Chinese lineup. Obviously, they went over to Korean halfway through the season, but it still didn't work out. The Hunters are the only Chinese team that we have right here that have gone with a majority Chinese roster, despite the fact that they saw how badly it went for Dragons, and they're coming in here and they're crushing it. They're making people respect China, and they play such a Chinese style. I love it, because I was worried they'd come in and not have a great roster, and everyone would be like, China's such a joke.
I know, I'm a fan now.
They're crushing it.
Don't want to put words in your mouth, Josh, but you seem quite hot on the Chengdu Hunters.
I love them.
And I'm also quite hot on the Chengdu Hunters.
Brett is?
You wouldn't expect it, but I actually am. But this is a squad, right? I'm looking at them, and I think, you know, when we think of the big dogs right now, you think of Titans, you think of New York, you think of Shock. Those are the teams that could go undefeated. I think Chengdu could be this subtle little sneaky dog that could come in and just sneak it in, right? They could just sneak in and steal an undefeated stage. Look at these.
That sneaky.
Shanghai Dragons, maybe. Gladiators, maybe. Spark, maybe. Spitfire, maybe. Valiant. Maybe. There's like a 20% chance here that they go undefeated. 20%.
1 in 5.
Put some odds on that. 20%?
Thank you, Bren.
If it happens, listen, you're going to quote me on
analysis
this.
as well.
Like a genius.
They have a 20% chance. It's a hot take. There you go, Brenji. Well, there's no doubt that... Excuse me. I was looking at Brent. There's no doubt it's challenging being part of the 3-46 Shanghai Dragons. Later, Geguri gets candid with our insider Danny Lim about the Dragons' uphill battle and representing women as the only female player in the league. This is the Watchpoint pre-show. Don't go anywhere. The Overwatch League is brought to you by T-Mobile, now connecting 99% of Overwatch League fans. Catch your league on America's network, T-Mobile. Boston Uprising will try and keep their magic streak rolling against the Hangzhou Spark. Hangzhou had a tall order in their first match of Stage 2 where they got swept by Vancouver. They'll try to pin down this Boston team that just doesn't seem to quit. So Sideshow, let's start you with Boston. How impressed are you with the ridiculous run right now?
Boston just always seem to be able to do this, right? Last season, they set the record for the most match win streak, which was crazy. A bunch of those went to match 5. This time, they're just using some kind of magic to be able to reverse sweep every time. But I think there are some concerns as well.
Okay.
Because what that means is they are always losing these first 2 maps. You can't rely on that magic every single time. And something I'm really interested in, actually, is to be able to see like what the difference is between the first half and the second half. So here's some stats to take a look at. Now, obviously, their stats are going to be worse in the maps that they lose, right? So you would expect the maps in general for 1 or 2 to be lower, but it's a weird kind of chicken and an egg situation because when the coaches talk to them at halftime, they're clearly coming up with some kind of plan to try and change how the team is playing. So is it the plan that's then leading them to perform better and they win and therefore their stats look better? Or are these players just a lot better when they play individually under pressure and are therefore able to get and start to kind of develop themselves and come out swinging in the second half?
I do agree, though. I'm not sure if it is sustainable to just keep on banking on reverse sweeping your opponents. I mean, looks great on paper, but really, you also got to think about the mental component which is going into that for the players after that. However, I do want to give a lot of credit to the coaching staff because clearly they are the ones in the back trying to do that extra work and actually are able to, you know, bring those guys back into the game because in the second half, they look really darn good. It's not scrappy in the second halves either. Like it's actually almost one-sided. So I'm not sure what the coaches are doing during halftime, but that magic.
Giving them back massage.
Good old massage, you know, it usually works.
Speech from Huck.
I can see that. Whatever it is, it's working, and that's all that matters. So I wanna really like big up the coaches because I do think that a lot of other teams don't have a coaching staff which are able to bring them back into the game right afterwards.
All right, Brent, we talked a little bit about the last matchup for the Spark. That was the 0-4 loss to the Titans, but you said the Titans are the best team in the game. So what do you think about the Spark from that match?
I think it's a similar situation from what we saw with when we were talking about Guangzhou and Shock, right? Because this is a team that when they went up against the Titans, they had moments of brilliance. And there's one particular instance that I'm thinking of in Kings Row. They had a fantastic attack on Kings Row. Got a reasonable time when it comes to it. Look at this, the time got ticked out. But the Titans come out for one of the fastest Kings Row times we've ever seen. Coming out with like 5 minutes, 16 seconds. And the Spark, again, this is one of those games where a lot of people have got in their minds right now that they're a bad team because of that match. But you have to remember, they're playing against the best team in the league, and they're crushing every single opponent they're going up against. So this match today, this is going to be the one where you're going to have to pay attention to, and this is the one where you're going to have to judge where Spark are leading currently in the standings and where they belong.
Big one for the Spark today. Our first match today, though, features 2 fan favorites, but also 2 teams without a win so far in Stage 2. The LA Valiant don't have any wins on the season, actually, while the Atlanta Reign are trying to find themselves again after losing damage dealer DeFran due to his retirement between stages. Can the Valiant take advantage of this unstable Reign squad right now, Sideshow? Do you think there's a chance for LA today?
I think there is. I've been the largest LA Valiant apologist, I think, throughout the entirety of their league run. Even though they currently don't have any wins, I think they still have at times shown some pretty decent Overwatch. They've just got some crumbling factors that ruin everything for them. But when I look at this game in particular, I actually think the Valiant are going to come out with the win here. I think the Atlanta Reign is crumbling right now, and perhaps more so than the Valiant. So I think they've kind of dropped down to their level. They've really struggled with these roster changes that they've been forced to make. It feels like they don't quite know what their core is anymore. With DeFran leaving, a Baby Bay coming in, okay, not quite having the same impact, but it's also the changes around their off-tank. Dako has just disappeared.
Yeah.
Pride has had to come in, hasn't had the same impact. Dako was incredible. And then also Dogman coming out as well. Seems to have left the team in a weird position. So do I feel confident about the Valiant? No, because I have no idea really what's happening with that team. I wish there was someone with insight, actually, to be able to show like what's going on inside the Valiant.
Going at a detective around here.
Well, my dear Watson, my boy, might I provide you with a little insight for us here?
Is
Take
that
my magnifying Gugad, I don't know what to call it. And let me tell you exactly why the Valiant and what they're going to be doing. I'm not going to tell you much about the Valiant, but I'm going to be making some astute observations about this squad. And let me tell you right now, they get rid of their translator, step 1. They got rid of their coach, Moon, Korean coach, Moon. And now Custer has been released from his prison on the Custer News Network.
3 big clues.
And he's playing again. The 3 big clues. And it all points towards Valiant building towards a Western roster. I tell you now, this is what's going to be happening.
The Oracle.
Elementary, some might say, Watson. Elementary.
These guys are special. So we do know that one of these teams is going to get the win today. So who has the edge? Is it LA or is it Atlanta?
Oh, well, Pocket, you're so right. One of the teams will be winning. And I want to quote at this point a person very dear to me, in fact, my favorite person in the whole wide world, and that is my grandmother. She said that if you don't have anything nice to say, just don't say anything. And I'm gonna go with her advice today, and I'm just not gonna make any comment about this match.
Grandma Tracer, that's totally something she would say. Well, while Zoe's afraid to say what she's really thinking right now, that's okay, so don't worry. Coming up, Shanghai's Geguri opens up about the first time about being an inspiring journey through the Overwatch League and much more. That's next here on the Watchpoint pre-show presented by State Farm. The Overwatch League is powered by Intel. Game, record, stream without compromise on Intel Core i7. And by Omen by HP, the official PC and display of the Overwatch League. When the Shanghai Dragons signed the league's first female player, Geguri, last season, few could imagine what it must be like to be the lone woman in a league filled with men. But with her strong play and impressive personality, she quickly became a fan favorite. Now in her second season, Geguri opened up with her unique experience with our insider Danny Lim, as she continues to work hard to inspire others.
Welcome, Geguri, to Kiddo's Creamery. Best ice cream place in all of Glendale. Do you like ice cream?
네, 아이스크림 엄청 좋아하죠. 여기
What is really
보면은
good?
제일 적은 게 제일 맛있는 것 같은데.
못 해주세요. 영어 하시잖아요.
I want vanilla cone and honey milk and caramel topping.
Geguri means frog in English, right?
네, 개구리나 이제 곤충 같은 거를 제가 좀 많이 소동물을 좋아해서.
If you could compare last season's Shanghai Dragons to this season's Shanghai Dragons, what's the major difference?
일단 감수님이 잘해가지고 좀 막 튼튼하고 이제 좀 팀을 가운데 중심을 꽉 잡아주는 느낌인 것 같아요.
You guys have a team dog now.
네, 언니가 감수님이 키우는 강아지가 언니인데 저를
굉장히
좋아한다고.
좋아한다면서요?
만만해서.
You put out really funny tweets.
뭔가 이제 외국 팬분들이 많다 보니까 영어로 이제 뭔가 말을 하고 싶은데 옛날에 영어 시간에 배웠던 노래가 있었어요. 이제 I am a pizza라고 진짜 노래가 있었어요.
Is there something that you do specifically so that you won't get homesickness?
저는 딱히 향수병 같은 게 없어요. 뭔가 한국의 음식이 생각나지 질이 그리운 적은 딱히 없습니다.
How would you define success for you guys this year?
많이 플레이오프도 가고 욕심으로는 이제 다 가고 싶고 우승도 하고 싶고 이것저것 많이 나오는 것 같아서 점점 더 많은 조합이 나옴으로써 더 재밌어질 거라고 예상합니다.
What's your favorite part of being in the Overwatch League?
역시 이제 첫 승했을 때
Ladies and gentlemen, history has been made. The Shanghai Dragons, on the 43rd attempt out, managed to pick up their first match victory.
제일 기억에 남았던 것 같아요. 그때 응원이 좀 많이 엄청났어요. 그래서 이제 좀 감동받아가지고
개구리 선수가 거의 리그에서 선수들 중에서 거의 탑안이 드는 것 같아요. 팬들 많은 넓은 팬층을 소유하고 있는 선수 중에 개구리 선수가 거의 탑인 것 같은데.
너무 뻔합니다.
네?
희귀에서? 아무래도 여성이 한 명이다 보니까 뭔가 좀 많은 관심을 받게 되는 것 같아요.
그럼 어떻게 보면 그게 좀 되게 부담이 될 수도 있겠다.
조금 이제 부담이, 네, 그래서 이제 내가 더 열심히 해야겠다고 생각해요. 아무래도 혼자이다 보니까 더 저를 보고 더 많은 여성분들이 많이 이제 동기부여가 될 수 있도록 내가 좀 더 잘해서 좋은 모습을 보여드려야겠다고 생각해요.
Blizzard Arena, give it up for Geguri. She is such an inspiration. And while many of us know her for her excellent diva play, but there's some other stats we should look at. Look at her wrecking ball. We've seen it a little bit this season, and she has some of the top 5 ranks there on the hamster, including leading the league in grappling claw kills. That's right, the slap and run. If Shanghai rolls out the wrecking ball more this season, well, I hope to see Geguri on that hero. This is the Watchpoint Police. Let's keep the show moving. And no, it's not for your bachelor party. We brought in our experts here as we got some reports to do. We got a speeding report. Officer Sideshow, what do you see?
Well, that's quite right, Captain Puckett. I've got a speeding ticket right here. Hello, hello, hello. And this one, it's for I'm 37. Going far too fast through open division, far too fast through the path to pro.
Why have you got your handcuffs on?
What? Well, I can't really do
He's new to
handcuffs.
this, don't worry about it.
He stole Danny Lim's microphone, theft as well, speeding and theft. Unbelievable scenes. This guy's going straight out.
Multiple charges.
Well, what we got here then? We got a noise complaint coming in from the neighbors, you know, someone in Studio 5, presumably. They're always up to no good. But they've been complaining about Dogman. He's been dishing out some trash talk, so we call him. I like to call him Scrappy Doo. You know, he does remind me a little bit of him in some way or form. But we got some video evidence of this as well.
Bruises of theater!
Back. Carp is so bad.
Yeah. Reverse sweep, reverse sweep, reverse sweep. Let go. Hey, Carpe, you suck! Let go. Come on.
Listen, Dogman. I can respect it. You've got the minerals to talk the talk. But right now, you're not walking the walk. And you are coming very close to being nicked. So let's turn it around, yeah? Get some match wins. I know losing is enough of a punishment in itself, but come on, mate. Let's turn it around so we can keep the trash talk going. Just a warning for now. Just a warning, letting you off. Why have you cuffed me? Oh, you're broken.
Oh, boy. Well, speaking of walking the walk, I would like to give a ticket to the LA Valiant today. The reason for it, I'm sorry, but it's fraudulent impersonation of a 2018 playoff team. We came in with high expectations for this team, and they were not met. God, they look really sad, and I feel really bad about making that point. Great clips chosen by our production. I'm just saying, they got a ticket for it. But, you know, yeah, but, you know, they still have some games to go, so make it up.
All right, guys, I think we've met our quota for the month. Officers, fantastic work. Give it up for our officers. We are less than 10 minutes away from the action on the stage. When we come back, we've got all the predictions you ever wanted to see. It's the Watchpoint pre-show presented by State Farm. Coca-Cola is the official refreshment of the Overwatch League. Let's get to our match prediction sideshow. Thinks today is the day for the Valiant. That's when you cheer, guys. We're in LA. To get their first win, Bren is on his own with the Spark over Uprising, and all of our analysts like the Shock and the Hunters to win easy today. Sideshow, back up your Valiant claim right now. I'll give you 15 seconds. Tell me in the chat, why are the Valiant going to win?
Well, I think the Valiant aren't a terrible team. Yes, they have 0 match wins at the moment, but they still look okay individually. So I think this is their time. They're against a struggling Atlanta. They're going to win.
LA's gonna win the game. That's what Jack says. That's gonna do it for Watchpoint. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time. Matches start on the other side of this break.